Hello and welcome to the BuiltOnAir podcast. BuiltOnAir is a regular podcast where we talk with everyday people and learn about the amazing things they are doing with Airtable. Today's podcast is sponsored by OpenSide, the leading solutions provider for Airtable customers. Check out openside.com to learn more about their products and services that can take your Airtable usage to the next level. Use promo code BuiltOnAir to receive $20 towards any product purchase. On today's episode, we speak with Hannah Clark, Marketing and Communications Manager, Clothing Swap Runner, and Airtable aficionado. Hannah hails from the Twin Cities in Minnesota, where she uses Airtable to help not just her work life, but her home life as well. Hannah discovered Airtable about 9 months ago, and in those 9 months has managed to amass an impressive amount of knowledge about the product. She even was selected as a winner of Airtable's recent block ideation contest. Like many users, she started out by modifying one of Airtable's templates, the social media content calendar, to match her needs. After getting a bit more comfortable, she started building her own bases from scratch. She has since published 3 bases to the Airtable Universe, with uses ranging from fun to practical. She shows us these bases today: her personal budget and debt tracker, movie and TV log, and home improvement base. Most striking in these bases is Hannah's creative use of the gallery view. For many of her bases, she has created beautiful cover images using the app Canva and used those to quickly identify each record. For example, each summary record in her personal budget and debt tracker has a pretty cover image of the month and year. She also shows us a bit of the base she uses to run her clothing drives, Big Fat Super Swap and In-Betweeny Super Swap, which has a mission of providing clothing options for plus-size people of all genders. Last year, they were able to distribute and hand-deliver over 34 winter coats, an important staple of winters in Minnesota. Bravo, Hannah. Check out the show notes to learn more about Hannah.
What's great about this is you can add in so many different things. So now let's add, what are we gonna add? What did we buy today? We bought, I'm just gonna buy dinner. And it's gonna be $35. I don't know what we're buying, but I hope it's delicious.
Yes.
I think I'm getting Vietnamese food tonight, so yay.
Awesome.
And so there's so many different categories. And this is just based on like what I buy. So what's great is like, you can add stuff. If you don't buy a lot of beauty products, if you buy more video games, you can add that. But I buy a lot of beauty products. So it's great. And if you put it on your credit card, you can do that. And then, it's just, and it helps you really break down what you're doing, and it helps you keep track of what you're spending, where it's going, and like what you're spending it on. What I really love is like that you can add it to your debt, so it's easier to keep track of your debt in real time. Like a lot of folks, there's a lot of lag in banking apps, right? So you sometimes I'll look and stuff hasn't updated and it's been like a week, and I'm just like, I don't think that's accurate. So it's really helpful to like know in real time what's happening and what's not. The other cool thing, and this is what I just updated, is I use this in my personal one and I didn't actually realize it wasn't added to the published one, is that you can look at frequency. So that's really helpful. If you're seeing something that you buy all the time, let's say you buy coffee every week, you can change it from one time to frequent. So you know that like, okay, this is probably something I should expect to budget in next month. And you can even like set something aside. So I know I'm going to spend coffee. I'm going to spend $20 on coffee. Ooh, I should know how to spell. This month, and so I can put that in there without a date. And I can still add everything in and just put it to scheduled, and and like put it in my budget and know that like, okay, so this is going to come out, and I know that it's going to happen, but I know that it's already there. It's already accounted for. I don't have to worry about overspending.
Right. You're like saying, I know I'm going to put this much towards it. And so you're already seeing it taken out and you don't have to play with that anymore.
Yeah. And, you can do that with payments and categories. Payments is really helpful if you're, spending a lot on your credit card, or you're doing a great job spending in cash or debit. And so you want to look at that and be like, wow, I'm doing great. And even just like we all have days where we accidentally spend a ton, or we're just busy. Like, if you're buying a lot of stuff for work or home, this is really helpful. I have a very similar one that I use for the swap. So I tend to just spend one day every swap session and just buy everything I need. And it's great to like be able to look at that, and it's easier to add stuff by just looking at your daily view.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you can look at your budgets, and I love the ability to customize an Airtable. That's probably one of my favorite things. You can make really cute little covers, which is so fun. I build all mine in Canva. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's such a great tool. I use it a ton for this.
Oh my gosh. That's a great idea. I haven't actually thought about doing that, like displaying it as a gallery view with a pretty picture. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it makes it so much more fun too. And I think that's like the cool thing. It looks less clinical and more personal.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm totally going to steal that from you. That's awesome.
Go ahead, it's great. And like I think one version I built for one of my friends, I was helping them customize. They did like different like pictures for each month. It was very cute.
I love it.
And you can add your income, which is great. So you can do like if you're pulling out of savings, like this counts it as income, and you can take it out of savings and see that you've done that. And if you want to just view money you're taking in the old-fashioned way, you can do that.
Awesome.
And it helps you figure out how much you're saving, which is really great. So, and you can add notes, which is great. So like I personally have like an auto pull on my savings just because otherwise I will forget.
Right.
And so you can add a note in there like, okay, this month I know I'm going to save that. Good to know. And then it gets a little even more fine detail. So this is a roll up of what you save every month.
Absolutely.
So you can see both like your total and what you're saving every month, which is very, very helpful in my opinion. And I think it has helped a lot of other folks too.
Agreed. Absolutely. Yeah. The summary table is almost always necessary just to get that bird's eye view.
Yeah. Right. Like you can see a lot in the details, but sometimes having a larger picture paints a more vivid idea.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then like, there's a debt summary, and this is like also something fun. Like, here there's pictures. I wish I owned a DeLorean. I don't. I own a Kia, but dream car. So there's that. And then the one fun thing I did here is formulas. So formulas are really cool. I'm still constantly learning how to use them. And they're so great and they're so versatile. And I love that you can add emojis in them. I know that seems very silly. But I think it's great.
I do too.
So you can, so these are like paid off and not paid off. So I think it makes it really fun. And even just like for some things like for the swap, if someone paid with their like personal card versus like the swap card, it'll have like a big red like not paid back if we haven't accounted for that in the budget. So it can like both make it fun and be like very helpful as a reminder of like there's a big red X here, so obviously I should pay attention to that. But in this kind, you just have a little party emoji. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm doing that too. I use emojis for everything in Airtable.
It's so great. Well, and I learned how to like, so this is my work in progress one. I learned how to like put the emoji in the title. And so the emoji is the like badge.
Yes. Then that little, in your workspace, it shows up as the big picture and it's in color. And oh, I know. I love that. That's so
It's great. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. That was like truly life-changing for me. I loved it.
Seriously, I saw somebody else that I was talking to had that, and I was like, oh my gosh, you can do that? That's so cool. That's really, really great.
Yeah. And then this is something I updated recently because I realized the formula was wrong. And that's like, I think what I've seen a lot of people say is they're afraid to publish stuff in the universe because it might be incorrect or they're not, confident in that. And it's like, you can update it. It's fine.
Exactly.
So this has been updated recently. So if anyone had checked it out a while ago and they didn't like the calculator, good news. Figured it out.
Awesome.
This is great because like most folks I know, we're really trying to hustle to pay things down. So it's great. So now you can put in, this works correctly. The part that works correctly now is you can put on your payoff goal and it'll help you calculate your monthly payment needed to reach that goal.
Nicely done. That's
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's nice because sometimes we understand that like things change, and so maybe you want to be a little less, and you can like move out that goal, and it gives you a better idea and a little more control and knowledge about what you need to do to be in control of your finances, which is great.
Absolutely.
And we have the same thing for credit cards. And so this is what I'm working on building it out on. And so this is based off my own personal one. So a savings goals calculator, which is really helpful. We all have goals and it's nice to kind of keep track of them. And so here's this fun emojis.
Yay.
Again, we love it. I love to see it. And like fun covers, like, yes, this is just a money bag, but it's fun to see it.
Agreed.
And it's great to help keep track of your investments and your assets. And this is just a scrubbed version, but like I wish I owned a very expensive house, but maybe you do, so it's great. And you can keep track of all of this and make it easy to see, and it goes into your net worth, which again, fun emoji use.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, when you see the real numbers, you're like, oh, that's not as fun as I wanted it to be. But, this changes just a little bit. You hit it is going to be set at $0. So once you hit the $0 mark, you're doing great.
Awesome.
And then you're crushing it. How are you doing? You're crushing it.
That's so cute. I love it.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks get the idea that doing data might not be as fun. And you can make it fun. Like you can make it cool and silly and still have personality. It's not cold and boring numbers. It's a living picture of what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm definitely impressed. Honestly, I don't know that I've ever seen a base with such personality.
Thank
It's
you.
great. You're welcome. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I think that's what's made me like to use it more than like budgeting apps is like, okay, I can input a picture. That's cool. But this, I don't know, it just makes it a little more fun, and it's cool. And if you have like multiple pictures, so like let's say there's not an example of this in this space, but if you have multiple cars and you just wanted to combine them, you could do that and have both the pictures show up here. And so like that's just like it's all these like cool. There's an example of it in this one. This is the movies and TV one, but an example of that is like in your yearly overview, you can have like all of your favorite movie posters show up, and it gives you an idea of that, like what you saw that year. This one hasn't been built out very much personally, but it's cool.
That's great. Yeah. I love the gallery view and I love how you're using it here. Like that's super creative.
Thank you. Yeah, we use it a lot for the coat fund as well. So this is the boring back end view with those handy dandy little out of stock
Mhm.
big red X's, but there's a great gallery view. So we can view in stock only coats really easily. We know what style they are, what size they are, and if they've been bookmarked for anybody already, which because we hand deliver them and who's getting them, um, we're able to get kind of like a better idea of if this coat will be appropriate for somebody else. Um, so it's really, really helpful to do stuff like that. Um, the coat buying feature, like, so this is what we use to manage just like the coats, like what's coming in, what's going out. We use a formula for that, is just so infinitely helpful,
Mhm.
especially because, like, you know, I can update it sitting in my car after I dropped one off.
Yeah,
It's great.
that is great. So you use the phone app a lot?
I do, yeah, and it's great for the budgeting one. I actually um, because I use I think I used the small business budget template for what I used for the swap.
Mhm.
Um, I got so used to adding like items in when I was shopping for it and when I was doing stuff that I was like, oh, wouldn't this be great if I had a way to do this for my own personal finances? And then I built this.
Perfect.
And I think like I love the phone app. I think in the phone app I even have like the shortcut built directly to my budget base. So instead of opening the Airtable app and then finding my budget base like icon in there, I click it and it goes directly to there. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's just so great. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's great. I'm super impressed. And I definitely got a lot of ideas from you. Like that's super, super cool.
I'm glad. Yeah, it's so fun. And yeah, it's the all the different ways we use it. One way I recently learned how to or figured out a way to use it was to gate content for work.
Okay.
And so this is another fun customization. So we built a form and we put our cute little brand colors. Um, and so you fill out this form and you will get access to our white paper.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a really easy way to gate content without paying a ton of money for all these like specialized programs. Um, and
Mhm.
it's so helpful, and it's a really great sales funnel. So on the back end, you know, you get the company, the person who downloaded it, and you can keep better track of if this turns into a sales lead later. Um, you know, so you can use it in so many different ways, from, you know, if you want to calculate your net worth and see if you're crushing it, to crushing it in a sales sense in a sales funnel.
Yes. No, that's awesome. I've never thought of that. So when somebody fills that out, it gets added to that base, and then does an automation take over and send them the white paper?
Yep. So once you click download, it automatically downloads the white paper.
That's so cool. So does it
Yeah.
redirect you? Are you using the redirect function on the
Yep.
form?
Yep. It uses a redirect, so it's really great. That's I wish my other big wish is that we could do that. We could buy like features per base
Mhm.
because they only have a paid version for work.
Mhm. Mhm.
So doing something like this would be like really great for like the swap or something, where I don't have a paid account. But yeah, so we use the redirect function to bring you to, I think it's like WeTransfer or something. So if anyone wants to view our white paper, I guess you just got that. It's really great. I had a
Yeah.
hand in writing it. It's lovely.
Dude,
Um,
yeah, I'm super impressed. That's great because it captures who took it, and you could ask them why, or like what, I mean, whatever information you want right at the
yeah, yeah, it's so infinitely useful, and it's just like, you know, that's a teeny tiny little solution that is makes a big impact, you know, like
Mhm.
sometimes you don't realize you need something until you look at your budget and the cost of something, and then I think Airtable's really good for breeding ingenuity in that sense.
Absolutely. That's super true. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's a great way to look at it. It definitely does. It breeds creativity, and everybody's like, oh wow, if I could do that, I could do this, and it's just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so great. Like, I mean, so my husband and I use the house project tracker. This is the one I uploaded to the base is incredibly similar to the one we actually use, which is this one. And so it's so great, like, to keep track of stuff. He's very Excel based human being. He loves it, and I got him to start using Airtable specifically for this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so helpful. It's so helpful to view what you have on hand. So, if we go to the hardware store, we don't have to guess what we need. Okay, we already know we have drop cloths and painter's tape. We have, because we didn't have this before, so we kept buying rolls of painter's tape every time we went. So, it's so helpful. And, we know what projects we want to do, and we know what projects we've completed, which is really great. So
Oh
wow. There's like the before and after. So it's so cool to like do something like that. And it's just all these little things that make it so customizable, like, adding in before and after pictures, and being able to rate your contractors. Like, it's so helpful. We all know we've used someone we wouldn't use again, but when you're looking through a pile of business cards, you might not remember which one was who.
right.
So you can do that, and it's so helpful in every single way to be able to do stuff in like a personal realm, and a work realm, and a volunteering realm. And it's just a good way to have fun and be efficient.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And
Yeah.
I'm super impressed. I think that the house project tracker is a super good idea as well. I want to put something like that together now.
It's so simple. I think people can look at something like the personal budget one with all the linked records, and get a little overwhelmed. And this is, I think, a really good entry level base, right? So I think I have a couple, I've published 3. There's 2 versions of the budget one. There's a monthly and a bi-weekly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is such a good entry level one, because it uses links, it uses categorization, it uses pictures and attachments, but it's a lot more simple versus something like the personal budget where there's, a bajillion tabs.
Right.
So I think there's a level of entry for everybody, which is great.
Agreed. Absolutely. Well, nice. Great job. That is super cool. Very, very impressed. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us too. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I wish you the best of luck with your clothing swap and your Airtable bases. It's so cool. And hopefully we get out of these crazy times soon and everyone will get back to normal.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Well, seriously, thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you today, Hannah. It was really great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and have a great rest of your day.
You as well.
Oh, wait, actually, I need to ask you one more question. Where can our viewers go to learn more about you?
You can find me at hannahclark.com.
Wonderful. And we'll put that in the show notes as well.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.